The media is already reporting that an unarmed woman was shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. But that headline is a lie. She wasn't unarmed. She was driving a 4,000-pound guided missile directly at a federal officer. And in the world of tactical reality, a vehicle is a weapon. The mayor wants ICE out of the city. The activists want the agent in jail. But today, we're ignoring the politics and looking at the physics. We're breaking down the observe, orient, decide, and act. That's called the OODA loop. The reaction times and why, when a car accelerates towards you, you have less than half a second to decide if you're going home to your family or ending up under a tire. I'm Ben Dykes. Let's cut through the spin and look at the hard truth of this engagement.
Better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the f*** Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
The news cycles are spinning out of control today. They keep repeating one word. They say the driver was unarmed because she didn't have a pistol in her hand. And they're right. But anyone who spent a day in the real world knows that is absolute nonsense. Most of you watching this have worked around heavy machinery your whole lives. You've driven trucks. You probably drove something to work today. You've operated loaders, handled equipment that can crush a man in a heartbeat. You know exactly what a 4,000-pound SUV can do. It isn't a grocery getter when it's pointed at a human being. It's a guided missile. Physics doesn't care about your politics. If that vehicle hits you, you don't get a bruise, you get a funeral. That agent had a fraction of a second to decide if he was going home to his wife and kids or ending up as a speed bump. So let's stop pretending that unarmed means harmless. In the real world, where actions have consequences, if you turn your vehicle into a weapon, don't be surprised when it gets treated like one. That's not murder, that's cause and effect. I'm going to show you some clips here, and we're going to work through the noise and talk about what the news is missing. Once you recognize the pattern, it becomes clear, and you're not part of the game anymore. You're writing the rules.
Caveat, because it is true, an investigation still does need to be conducted. I had my perception of what took place based on the vehicle and the vehicle's positioning. It does not appear that the individual is trying to ram anybody. Now, the question was, if it is in fact found to be an unjustified shooting, who issues the charge, who prosecutes, how does justice take place? I don't know the answer in full to that. This is obviously information that we're still working out. Chief, do you have any additional information or commission?
This is the mayor, Jacob Frey, Minneapolis. He is already playing politics. He hasn't seen the video. If he has seen the video, he's chosen to deliberately not recognize what actually occurred. Because if you look at some of the other video footage, some of the other angles, the agent was in front of the vehicle. And if you notice the thumbnail, the hole in the windshield is because the agent fired from the front of the vehicle. This is the Minneapolis mayor. He is going to play politics, and politics are about to cause some chaos in Minneapolis. We know what happened just a few years ago with St. Floyd, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. But this is all on video. This is undeniable. Do I wish the best for the family of the victim or the assailant or the attacker? Because you cross the line from being the victim when you try to run over a federal agent. You are the attacker. You are not the victim any longer. And that's what is happening here. The Minneapolis mayor is playing games with words. And those words and those games that he's playing are going to put other federal agents' lives in danger. There are already calls for Donald Trump to send in the National Guard before this gets out of hand. I can't show you the riot footage and all this other kind of stuff that's happening here because of, YouTube health and safety. but you can find it on every other platform and you can go see it for yourself. But this is going to get out of hand because the news media is spinning a yarn and it's becoming political, which is exactly what's effective for them. Once you see that pattern, you can't unsee it. Here is the assailant, Renee Good. She had pronouns, she, her. We knew that was going to be there. She's reportedly identified as an anti-ICE vehicle rammer, fatally shot by an agent in self-defense, right? This is exactly what we've come to. And you can see her profile here and just read her profile. Poet and writer, wife and mom, shitty guitar strummer from Colorado. Now, I feel sorry for her family because she made a decision that will affect them for the rest of their lives. You can see a little bit of this clip here.
No!
Right there, if you notice, there is an agent in the front of the vehicle, at the front of the vehicle, directly in line with the driver.
Shame! Shame!
And that happened. It's not good to watch.
God!
I'm glad that the footage is from far away, so it's not so clearly visible. But that's exactly what happened. There was an agent in front of the vehicle, and you can see him over the shoulder of the other vehicle approaching the door. See him just over the shoulder there? She backs up trying to get away. The agent says, stop, get out of your car. She made a decision that will affect her family for the rest of their lives. Now we have more chaos breaking out at the federal courthouse in downtown Minneapolis. People there are going to riot. The National Guard, Tim Walz, the governor, he is being ousted. He is resigning because of fraud, because of other information that's come out where he's not the best governor right now. I'll say that. And what he should do is send in the National Guard. This is only going to get worse. We're talking Kent State, George Floyd level. This is going to go back to the hands up, don't shoot, Mike Brown narrative. And I want you to see one thing and one thing from this whole story. A 4,000-pound vehicle is a weapon. That's exactly what this is. You can't deny it. And the agent acted in self-defense. Now, this chaos that's breaking out at the federal courthouse, this is on the mayor. This is on the governor because they're spinning yarns and they're spinning narratives and they're turning everything into politics. ICE agents are federal law enforcement officers. They have the right to serve and protect throughout the entire nation. That's why they're called federal. Okay? Federal. And there's been such an uptick in all of this hate speech. Everybody wants to turn the temperature down in the room. Well, they're not doing a damn good job of it because they're just spinning people into narratives and into hate. The president has come out and made a statement regarding this whole thing. You can see it everywhere. I'm not going to read it to you. You're not elementary school kids. But he has come out and said, I have just viewed the clip of the event that took place in Minneapolis. Horrible to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. We all know that's what's happening. And it's sad, but maybe something good will come out of this. Something good will come out of this incident that is going to cause a lot of problems. Professional agitators get paid to travel all over the United States and literally incite dangerous situations like this. Get in the faces of federal agents and try to provoke them, almost like a dog. You go by a dog enough and you kick it enough times, it's going to bite you. If you provoke a dog with a 4,000-pound vehicle, you're going to get bit. And that's what happened to this federal agent. And now he's going to get doxxed. His family's going to get put at risk. And that's not what he signed up to do. He signed up to serve and protect the community and the people and the taxpayers in the United States. but this whole narrative has been shifted.
You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such. We will continue to protect our ICE officers and in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies as well.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem brings up a great point. This is causing so much chaos across the country. We have seen people blocking the roads. We have seen people attacking vehicles, ramming vehicles, destroying vehicles. We've seen in Minneapolis where it's been incited that Hilton hotels refused rooms for ICE agents. At some point, we knew it was going to get to this. It's sad to see it. It's sad to see it. But at some point, it was going to get here. And let's just hope the president and law enforcement handle it in the right way, because so far they have. They have not played the game with the agitators. They have been with the utmost of respect, courtesy, and professionalism. And the agitators don't have to play by those rules. These paid rioters do not play by those rules. Guys, we're getting to a boiling point. Maybe we've already boiled over as a nation. The hatred for one side versus the other is out of control. But at the end of the story, right here tonight, this was a 4,000-pound missile headed towards an ICE agent. You can paint it however you want, whatever partisanship you're with, but it boils down to that. And the ICE agent reacted to protect himself because they are just employees and they all want to go home to their families. Sadly, someone else put him in a position to make a decision, whether it was his life or theirs. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. Mash the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Do you think the ICE agent was justified in their action? Do you think the agitator was justified in what they do? Free speech crossed the line today, and you're allowed to say whatever you want. However, when you do whatever you want, those things change. Those things change. And sadly, the ICE agent had to make in my opinion, the right decision. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next one.